Hello everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Destiny video. Today we're going to be looking at the last bunch of cards and dice from Star Wars Destiny. We're then going to move into the events and other cards that don't have dice, but this is the last group of cards that have dice assigned to them. So we're going to be looking at Mind Probe, Comlink, Datapad, Holdout Blaster, Black Market, Cunning, Jetpack, and Thermal Detonator. So we have it on Mind Probe right now. This is exclusive to the Kylo Ren starter, so if you want to run two copies of this, you're going to have to get two Kylo Ren starters. I did that. Cost 4 resources. Has 3 range damage for the cost of a resource, 2 disrupt, 2 discard, 2 specials in the blank, blue character only, and the special is it deals damage to a character based on the number of cards in your opponent's hand. One cool thing about this is the special is can hit really hard depending on how many cards are in somebody's hand. I saw a video where somebody was playing this against a Luke Skywalker deck, and Mind Probe is just brutal against Luke decks because Luke's ability, when you activate him, you get to draw a card. Since you're drawing more cards, you're going to have a bigger hand or a more full hand. You might even have like 5 or 6 cards in your hand that get hit with a Mind Probe, which does, 5 or 6 damage. It also has a 3 damage for the cost of a resource, which is good. Again, it does cost 4, but you can also combine this with the Sith Holocron to get the special on Holocron, and then basically play this for free. And then if you have a resource, you can roll it in. You get a special, you can then pretty much immediately resolve it because you resolve the special on the Holocron. So you resolve all specials at once, or at once essentially. So you resolve the special off of the Holocron, do this, then resolve the special off of Mind Probe, and you can tell you hit your opponent with a good amount of damage pretty quickly. Like I said, exclusive to the Kylo Ren starter, so you will need 2 of this, but a very good blue upgrade. It's also neutral. I see it more in villain decks, but you can use this in hero decks as well. We're going to move on to our next card. And here we are with Comlink, the neutral upgrade. It costs 2. Has a focus side, another focus side, a shield side, a resource side, a +1 resource side, and a blank. And after you play this upgrade, you may roll any number of your dice or any number of an opponent's dice. So it's very good at dice control. So if they've rolled really well, you can make them re-roll. If you rolled really badly initially, you can play this and then re-roll your dice. I'm using this in my Akbar and Padme deck. I'm only running one of it. I'm mostly running it in there for the dice control. I have a good amount of focus in the deck already, but this gives me basically that one use reroll effect, which I can either use on myself or my opponent. The focus sides are good to basically focus into your mill cards. It fits into a variety of builds. You might even run this in an aggro deck just to focus into more damage. I'm using it in a control deck, but you can use it in aggro decks as well. I find it a little bit better for control because if my opponents have a lot of damage showing, I can just get them to re-roll all of that. And that is the Comlink. We're going to move into our next card. Here we are with the Datapad. It's another neutral upgrade. It just costs 1. It has 1 resource, +1 resource, another +1 resource, a special, and 2 blanks. And the special is turn one of your dice to a side not showing damage. Not showing damage means you can change something to a special. And if you're resolving the special on Datapad and you turn something else to a special, you can then immediately resolve that special as well. I really like this card. It's good for resources if you're rolling resources already from other dice. The cost is cheap to get something like this out. It only costs 1. And the blanks, people might look at the blanks and see that as a negative. Normally that would be, but when I was running these, I was running 2 of these in my Vader and Stormtrooper deck to use with Power of the Dark Side. So I would roll these, maybe get a blank or get a +1 resource that I couldn't use. I would then exhaust Power of the Dark Side, roll it again, and hoping to get a blank to cause 2 unblockable damage. And then I had ways to basically focus not focus, but it was nowhere to run, which lets you change your blanks to whatever sides you wanted. So you would change the blank on this to a special. Trigger that special will let you turn a die to a side not showing damage, which would be another special. Resolve that special, and so on. Currently, I am running 2 of these Two of these in my Power of the Dark Side deck with Vader and Stormtroopers, and I'm also running two of these in my Admiral Akbar and Padme deck, mostly to get the specials so I can then turn my other dice as specials, so I can turn Padme to her special to have them mill a card out of their deck. I can turn my Outpost to the special to get a free use of the battlefield. It triggers it. When you trigger that, it lets you not claim the battlefield, but you get the effect of the battlefield as if you had claimed it. And if we're on my location, it causes even more mill. So the specials on this you can use to have stuff go off. You can use it with Cunning, which you would turn that to Cunning and then choose a special on something else on the board. So Datapad, despite the two blanks, can be very, very strong, and depending on what kind of deck you're running. But like I said, I was running it in Mill deck and my Vader deck. We'll be right back with the next card. Here we are now with the Holdout Blaster. It's another neutral upgrade. Cost 2. It has 1 range damage, 2 range damage for the cost of a resource, plus 2 range damage, a shield, a resource, and a blank. Nice thing about this is probably the best gun in the game, I think, currently, because it has first of all, it has ambush, so you get a second action after you play it. It also has redeploy, so once the character that it's attached to is defeated, you can move it to another character. I'm using this in my Rey and Han deck. My strategy is to and these go well in any aggro deck, even non-aggro decks. If you want a little bit of firepower, you can never go wrong with holdout blasters. But I'm using this in my Han and Rey deck. My plan is to get this in my opening hand, pay the 2 resources, get it on Rey. Rey's ability goes off, which lets you get another action. Plus, you get another action because of ambush. So if you do this on Rey, you essentially get two more actions out of it. The damage sides are pretty good, especially if you're rolling it in with a character that already has ranged damage. You can get that +2 side, or even just a 1 side or the 2 for a resource. But what's really nice is just getting those extra actions, especially if you play it on Rey. And it's even something you could play another one on Rey and do it again. You could even have another one in your hand and just upgrade the one that is already there, replacing the old hold-up blaster with a new one, and then getting 2 actions again out of that. Like I said, probably the best gun in the game currently. I'm interested to see what other cool guns they come out with for Spirit of Rebellion. But currently, Holdout Blaster is probably my favorite gun in Star Wars Destiny at this time. Excellent card. You can't really go wrong with it. Um, my favorite thing about it is, like, again, the ambush and the redeploy. To another character once that character is defeated, and you got to keep it out. Be right back with the next card. And here we are with Black Market. This is another neutral. This is a support. The cost 3 has +2 range damage, 2 focus, 2 shields, a resource, a special, and the blank. Special lets you draw 2 cards. You may then play an upgrade from your hand, decreasing its cost by 1. I currently don't have Black Market in any of my decks. I actually only have, I probably have opened about 3 boxes total, and I've only pulled 1 Black Market. But goes well in a variety of decks, aggro decks, because you have that damage. And if you're trying to get out some of your other guns, you can reduce the cost with the special. You may even use a special, draw the gun that you need, and then be able to play it because you're reducing the cost of it. Works well in other situations as well because you can focus into more damage on your other dice. Also provides shields and resources. Again, I'm not running any black markets in any of my decks currently, but if I got another one, I would consider running it maybe in my Rey and Han deck, just because you have +2 damage there, and then you can get your other guns out for less. Like the Holdout Blaster we just talked about. If you do that, you can essentially get Holdout Blasters for 1 resource. If you have 2 Holdout Blasters, you can Holdout Blaster, Rey with the reduced cost. If you have 3 resources, you can get 1 on Rey, 1 on Han. But Black Market, I haven't really played with it, so I can't really speak to it. But from what it looks like, the special looks good, and the die itself looks pretty good too. Again, I would probably run this in an aggro deck where you're trying to get as many guns out as possible as quick as you can. We'll be right back with the next card. And here we are with Cunning, probably another one of the best cards in the game. It's an upgraded ability, cost 2, It has a focus, a disrupt, a discard, a resource, a special, and a blank. Yellow characters only, and it's also neutral. And the special is resolve a special ability on another card in play as if it were your own card. That means you can trigger your opponent's specials, you can trigger your own specials. Your opponent, let's say your opponent has a thermal detonator sitting out on a special, or not even on a special, just has a thermal detonator card. The die doesn't even need to be in play at all. You resolve the special. You can use their thermal detonator against them, do 3 damage to each of their characters, and then discard their card. It's kind of like taking a creature in Magic the Gathering and attacking your opponent with it and then sacrificing it. You're blowing up their own detonator, doing damage to them, and then getting rid of their card. You could also use it to trigger your own specials. So if like I use this currently, I have this in my Haunted Ray deck. I'm also running 2 of it in my mill deck. So with the mill deck, I'm trying to get it to land on the special to trigger Padme because she mills out of the deck. I'm also possibly trying to use the special on my outpost to get the battlefield effect. If it's on my battlefield, it's mill 2. But Cunning is currently one of the best cards in the game. You can fit it into a variety of decks because it has mill on it. It has focus, so you can use it to focus in the damage. In my mill deck, I'm obviously focusing in the mill. In the Han and Ray deck, I'm focusing um, into damage, or trying to focus into damage as well. But even in that situation, I can focus into mill because Ray also has mill in that deck. But Cunning is amazing. Like I said, 2 cost, neutral. I'm pretty much running it in any deck that has yellow. I'm running 2 ofs. I'm running 2 Cunning in any deck where I have. My current decks with yellow are Han and Ray and Akbar and Padme. If I make a deck with Finn, maybe Finn and Poe, I'm gonna run 2 of these. You can never go wrong with 2 Cunning because it's awesome to use your opponent's specials against them. Back with the next card. Here we are with the Jetpack. This is another neutral upgrade. Cost 2, has +2 range damage, +3 range damage, disrupt, 2 shield, a special in the blank. Special states remove a die showing melee damage and give the attached character 1 shield. So you get a little bit of dice control of this. So you can remove, let's say they have a melee, 1 regular melee, and 2 modified melee dice. Use a special, get rid of the unmodified melee die so they can't use the modified sides on the other dice. You also get a shield out of it. And the damage on this die is very strong. People are running this with, like Django and Veers. I'm running this on Han Solo in my Han Solo and Ray deck. I'm not running it on Padme in that deck because it doesn't really help my play style with that deck. But I'm running it with Han and Ray though, and you're going to see this with Django and Veers just because of the incredible modified size on this die. So you get +2 or +3. You can get some heavy damage out of this, especially if you roll, like let's say Django Fett, Jetpack, and like a blaster rifle. Roll it all out, and you're sitting on a ton of damage. And also, it has a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of dice removal, and you can also get a shield from the special as well. If you have Cunning, you can also trigger the special on this, do that, and get the shield. So that is Jetpack. We'll be right back with the next card. And here we are with the final card and die from the Awakening set with, where, like I said, we're going to jump into the events in future videos, but this is the final card and die from Awakenings. This is the Thermal Detonator. It's neutral. On upgrade, you had to spot a yellow character to have it, to play it, so you need to have a yellow character that's still alive. Cost 3, as 1 discard, 2 discard, 1 resource, a special, and a special at the cost of a resource, as well as a blank. And the special is deal 3 damage to each of an opponent's characters, then discard this card from play. I really kind of don't like the special on this. If it's the end of the game and they only have 3 life left on a character, I'm going to trigger the special. But currently I have 2 of these in my mill deck, and I'm going to wanting to be using the discard sides more than the special. There was one game where I actually had it sitting on a special and actually, discard it to reroll, hoping I was going to get one of the discard sides. So, 1 discard or 2 discard, so you can hit your opponent with like a pretty good amount of discard with this, especially if you're running it with something like Natural Talent, where you increase it by 1, so instead of you're dealing either 2 or 3, which could be pretty good. And then you also have the special, which if it's the end of the game, let's say they have one character left, 3 health, trigger a special, that's game over. The thermal detonator is very strong. It's like I'm using it mostly in my mill deck. I'm not using this in any other decks currently, but I am actually going to, if I land on a special, I'm very likely going to focus out of that special and onto the discard sides, unless it's the end of the game, where I can just blow them up and win. But that's the thermal detonator, a very devastating card. I've drained people's hands with this, combining it with um, other discard cards from like or discard dice like Akbar. But that's gonna do it for all these cards and dice. We're going to be starting to move into the events. So we're going to be starting those in like a day or two. I think the first one's going to be looking at like cannon fodder, closing the net, and so on. We're just going to discuss the events really quickly, what kind of decks they might go into, um, ways to like use them in different kinds of decks, things like that. I want to thank you again for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back in the future. Probably might skip a day. I might do a deck video tomorrow or something like that. But we'll be back with the events starting soon. Thanks again for watching and take care.